This is the new V8 Vantage.
And, well, it's not an ugly car, is it? I mean, I'm not sure about this colour. You'd be on the phone to your doctor if your wee came out like this, but the shape itself is stunning. This is one of those superstar cars that leave a wake of dropped jaws and phone camera flashes.
And as the smallest, punchiest, sportiest car in the Aston lineup, it's fast too.
0 to 60 takes 3.5 seconds. So you're not going to be embarrassed by 911 Carreras. Top speed, 195.
But here's the thing. Astons have always been beautiful and fast in a straight line. But when you're making a sports car, that's the easy part. It was when you dug deeper under the skin into the areas you couldn't see that in the past they often came up short.
The trouble is, the company has never had the money or the manpower of Porsche or Ferrari, and you could sense that in their cars. They just didn't feel as well made or well engineered as some rivals.
That means they sold mainly to people listening to their hearts and not their heads. Because your heart says, I want an Aston, even when your head says, that door doesn't fit properly.
But this is 2018. Good looks and speed aren't enough if bits are coming off in your hand. This car can't be nice to drive for an Aston. It can't be well made for an Aston. It's got to be good, full stop.
So let's start with the interior. A place that normally tells you straight away if corners have been cut. And the news in here is good. Everything you see is brand new, not warmed up leftovers from an older model. And it all feels properly put together, as it should in a car that costs £121,000. And if you push down on the electric height adjuster, it has the lowest driving position of any car I've ever been in. I mean, I wouldn't claim to be a tall man, but this is low. I feel 7. Then we come to the engine. It's a 4-litre V8. It has twin turbos. It makes 510 horsepower, and
it's German, specifically from the AMG division of Mercedes. Now, yes, this will make people of a Brexity persuasion choke on their real ale. But look at it this way. Why waste money you don't have developing an okay engine when you can buy in a brilliant one? Besides, there's a plaque here that says, look, it's been inspected by somebody at Aston Martin, presumably to make sure those slapdash German engineers have done things properly.
But although the Vantage has Mercedes lungs, the engineers have tried to make sure it sings with an Aston voice.
Yeah, in an AMG, this engine doesn't make this noise. In a Merc, it's all umpire bass, whereas Aston Martin have added some British gravel to the mix.
So, it's handsome, quick, tuneful, and feels well built. But now we come to the acid test, how the new Vantage handles corners. And on paper at least, things seem promising.
It's built on an all-new chassis, a shorter version of the one under the DB11. And it's the first Aston Martin to be fitted with an electronic diff, a very expensive but very valuable weapon of war. So let's see what's what. Yeah, it works. in control of its power. It really is. It's been set up by a man who used to work at Suspension Masters Lotus. And you can tell. This just feels fabulous. This knows what it wants to be. There's no soft GT mode like you get in the DB11. Your entry-level setting is Sport, and then it goes Sport Plus and Track. That's what I want. It's a sports car. I don't want a soggy setting. Yeah, this is superb.
Of course, it's still a car from a small British company, so there are a few issues.
Visibility is not brilliant. For me, sitting down here, it's like trying to drive a car from the back of a crowded lift. There's no glove box. I don't like the sound of the indicators. It's like a 1980s Casio keyboard. Listen. And there's too much Alcantara. This will be all right when it's new, but buy one of these second-hand and it'll be like using somebody else's flannel.
Still, in the big scheme of things, these are just niggles. Because overall, the Vantage is fantastic fun.
In the past, you could buy an Aston and love it, but still know deep down that a 911 was a better car. With this new Vantage, that gap has been closed to a point where it doesn't matter.
It's not just brilliant for an Aston Martin, it's brilliant full stop.